Easy shot.
What the do you know? All right, welcome back to another video, guys. Today we have another drop by Ben Shapiro, the one and only Israel first, the one and only America last pundit, our greatest ally, as you know, surely. Let's see what he's talking about.
A lot. Well, here are the results of a brand new CBS poll among Republicans. Okay? Here's the question. 1. Should America change Iran's leaders to ones that are pro-U.S.? Republicans, 80% yes. 80%. Hey, how about this one? Should America make sure Iran's people are safe and free? 90% of Republicans say yes. By the way, so do 76% of independents and 74% of Democrats. How important is it? They say important. Is it unacceptable to end the conflicts with the current regime in power? Well, overall, Americans say that it is not acceptable to leave the current regime in power by a margin of 53 to 47. 71% of Republicans agree, so do 51% of independents. How about whether people approve of military action against Iran? 84% of Republicans say yes, compared to 16% who disapprove. And as it turns out, young Republicans are way more hawkish than they have been portrayed. There's a brand new poll from Schoen Cooperman Research, and it finds that among conservatives aged 30 and under, 61% support the war compared with 24% to oppose. 35% of young conservatives believe that this operation benefits both Israel and the United States, and another 31% say it primarily serves America's interests.
Let me ask you guys, how many of those people that they polled are veterans? How many of those people that they polled have been overseas and fought in wars on behalf of the United States and Israel, right? Because all the guys that I talked to, me included, we're not rocking with this war, okay? So I don't know where they got this poll data from. I know they were, polling Republicans, but Republicans are only part of the pie, right? They're only part of the equation, okay? Oh, 80% of Republicans support the war, so let's go bomb another country. That's not how this works, right? It's a terrible war. You have to look at it objectively, right? Not based on political parties or, partisanship. It's a terrible war. It's a terrible decision. And I think that, like a lot of things in America, we're not thinking about the long-term repercussions of this war, right? We're just thinking about, oh, the Ayatollah's gone. Oh, we're going to install a more, democratic leader in Iran. That's not how that works. These countries in the Middle East, they don't get down like that. It's not World War II. This isn't Nazi Germany, where you can just kill everybody in the administration, prosecute the ones that you capture, and then install a pro-Western or a pro-democratic administration afterwards. These countries have religions that go back thousands of years, and you can't just use your might and your bombs to get them to change that, right? This is a religious country, and as such, it's important that you understand that they're not just going to bend to you and bend to your will because you happen to be the strongest nation at the time. It's a terrible mistake.
Only 1 in 5 say it serves only Israel's interests, and nearly 7 in 10 are sympathetic to the importance of America's relationship with Israel. And yet, there is an increasingly large segment of the right that is now brain rotted. This is not all critics of the war, obviously. There are plenty of legit concerns about the war in Iran. How will it end? Will there be lasting economic impact? What comes after? But the brain rot crew aren't asking those questions. They're asking different questions. Questions like, do the Jews control Donald Trump's brain? And also, did Israelis conspire to kill Charlie Kirk? And also, should we be more like Qatar? The brain rot crew are those who are advocating a weaker American role in the world. They're obsessed with conspiratorial views about America, and of course about Israel and about Jews and about a lot of other stuff, including maybe the moon landing. Well, the brain rot right hero of the day is Joe Kent. You'll remember him. He resigned recently from his position as director of the National Center for Counterterrorism, supposedly over his opposition to the war. The real reason, it seems, that he actually quit is because he was under investigation for leaking classified information. Now, there is well-founded suspicion it was Kent who was providing information to Candace Owens about Charlie Kirk's murder.
You see how much this guy lies and misinterprets everything and spins the narrative? Joe Kent didn't resign because he was under investigation for leaking information, if that's even true, right? Joe Kent resigned, and he said it in his resignation letter, because he does not approve of the war in Iran, right? And why doesn't he approve of the war in Iran? Because unlike Ben Shapiro here, he actually went and fought wars on behalf of the United States, right? He went and deployed 11 times. His wife died in service to our war fighting efforts in the Middle East, right? So Joe Kent is seasoned and he's been over there and he's worked in a lot of other agencies where he's been privy to information. So he knows what's going on. He knows more about this, I would say, than Ben. Because even though Ben is tied to Israel and he's very sympathetic to Israel and he's very Israel first and America last, I would trust Joe Kent's information or Joe Kent's opinion on the matter as somebody who's been over there and seen it and understands the dynamics more so than some guy, Ben Shapiro, who's just sitting here twisting narratives.
As we have discussed, Andrew Colvin of TPUSA said yesterday he actually sent screenshots of conversations he had with Charlie Kirk to Joe Kent. And Joe Kent had then asked Colvin to release those same texts publicly. And Colvin said no. And then the same texts were released mysteriously by the most crazy conspiracist of our time, Candace Owens. Here was Andrew Colvin explaining this just the other day.
The actual fact of the matter is that behind the scenes, we have given everything we know to give, every single piece of information. This was one of them. I was told I could trust Joe Kent. I provided the screen grabs to Joe Kent, and I don't know what happened to them at that point. Okay, I just want to make that very clear. Eventually, Joe did message me and suggest that I make those screen grabs public. I declined because those were shared privately. I didn't want to be reckless with them in the public. There could be innocent people on that group chat that would then be harmed. So I declined. But then, fast forward another week or two, and they were made public. So that's what I know, is that Joe suggested that they be made public. I declined, then they were made public. Can I 100% categorically say that he leaked them? No. But those are the facts. Maybe somebody on his team, maybe they got passed around, maybe somebody else leaked them. But those are the facts of the matter.
Really quick, did you hear what he said there? He mentioned he didn't want to release the text messages in the group chat because he was worried that other people in the group chat might be harmed. Innocent people might be harmed. What do you mean by that? What do you mean that they might be harmed? What could they have done, or what could have been said in that group chat that could have caused innocent people to be harmed? It's just they're just talking, right? Why is that even a factor? Okay, I don't know. That's just a weird thing that I picked up on.
Now, I'll be real about this. I do not believe that Joe Kent didn't leak those texts to Candace Owens. After all, it is Candace Owens who routinely claims that she had inside intelligence sources in the government. And then back in October 2025, right shortly after Charlie's murder, she actually chided the FBI's Kash Patel for excluding Joe Kent from intelligence briefings. Here she was back then.
Right. This is the headline that came out of the Daily Mail. Kash Patel shuts down Charlie Kirk foreign intelligence probe in an explosive feud with Trump's counter-terror chief. It really makes you wonder what Kash Patel is hiding. There's absolutely no reason for Kash Patel to say, only I'm the person that's supposed to be looking into this. It makes no sense. If he is interested in solving Charlie Kirk's murder, then Kash Patel would be working with everyone.
Now, call me suspicious, but I do not think that Candace Owens and Joe Kent are strangers. It would be similarly shocking if Joe Kent was not leaking to Tucker Carlson, who is one of his friends, and also, by the way, his first stop after leaving the government. Just a few days before, you'll recall, Carlson claimed he had inside information from the intelligence community about being targeted by the CIA. Where could that have come from? So many mysteries, so many enigmas. Well, so here's the thing about Joe Kent. He's not just allegedly a serial leaker, he's kind of a nut. He's not just a nut because he says that Israel bamboozled President Trump into attacking Iran, and then, just for good measure, went to blame Israel for ISIS in Syria and also the original Gulf War and possibly the Korean War and maybe the War of 1812. He is a nut because he truly believes that Charlie Kirk may not have been shot by Tyler Robinson. That's the gay furry lover who absolutely 100% shot Charlie Kirk. It was Tyler Robinson's DNA that was found reportedly on a towel around the murder weapon, the rifle. A screwdriver recovered on the roof of the crime scene apparently had his DNA on it. His palm prints were reportedly found on the roof as well. He texted his furry boyfriend that he was involved with the shooting. He apparently confessed it to his parents. The evidence here is stronger than the evidence in the OJ case by a mile. Nonetheless, yesterday, Joe Kent went all the way and then publicly beclowned himself. In an interview with Michael Schellenberger's Substack page, Kent said he would actually testify on behalf of Kirk's alleged assassin, Tyler Robinson. Yet you heard me right. He said that he would actually testify if called to do so on behalf of Charlie Kirk's alleged assassin.
You know what I think is funny? I think it's funny that Ben never brings up the fact that the administration and the FBI and Kash Patel haven't released any information about the investigation, right? Where is the information about the investigation into Charlie's death? That's the question we should be asking. Oh, the screwdriver on the roof. Oh, fingerprints. Oh my God. Yeah, he definitely did it. Okay, well, where's the information? Where is the investigation, right? Into the assassination. What's taking so long? And why is there such a hush-hush attitude in the administration with the FBI about this ongoing investigation? Joe Kent wasn't a random guy that just walked in and wanted to know what's going on. He was the chair of the counterintelligence. Like, if anybody should know, especially if there's a hint, if there's even a possibility that another organization was involved in this, why can't Joe Kent be involved in the investigation or at least know what's going on, right? Because he might have information too. Again, if you're trying to investigate an assassination, you would want to use every resource available to you to figure out what happened. And one of those resources could have been Joe Kent with the information that he knew. It could have been Candace Owens. It could have been the people at Turning Point USA, right? It could have been a lot of different things. You could have publicly asked for information. Like, there's a lot of ways you could have gone about this, but instead they're choosing to be hush-hush and to prevent everybody, people in the administration included, from being privy to information about this investigation. So I don't know what Ben is talking about. I think he's diverting from the fact that we should be asking the question, what's going on with the investigation?
The FBI was pretty forceful in saying we couldn't investigate further, he told public. I saw no action being taken. Ken said he knew he might be called as a witness before he made his statements that a foreign nexus may have been involved in Kirk's assassination. I was definitely warned of that over and over again, said Kent. If I end up having to play that role, then I'll do it. It's not something I'm seeking. When he was told that testimony might help Tyler Robinson's defense, Ken said, quote, then honestly, so be it. If it gets us to the truth, that's obviously the risk I'm taking. Kent went on to describe the things he found suspicious. Quote, the stakes are high. Israel really, really, really wanted this war. They believe it's existential. The lone gunman part always struck me as a bit odd, said Kent. I've been in combat. I've done a lot of shooting. The shot Robinson took, if that was indeed how Charlie was killed, I don't think it's an easy shot. It's kind of an easy shot.
What the fuck do you know? How do you know that's an easy shot? We're talking about Joe Kent. Who are you going to believe, guys? You let me know. Who would you believe in this situation? Ben Shapiro, when he says, oh, it's an easy shot. No, it's fine. Or Joe Kent, the veteran who went and deployed 11 times to combat, who's probably shot way more guns than Ben Shapiro and knows his way around a rifle with his eyes. He can disassemble and put back a rifle together with his eyes closed. I'd rather listen to his opinion, somebody who's probably shot more than 95, 99% of people in America, than Ben Shapiro when it comes to whether or not a shot is easy. I don't know. This guy is just full of it, man.
And also, I'm just going to point out that that is indeed how Charlie was killed. Robinson, he says, I know videos of him messing around with guns, but he didn't seem very familiar with that gun from the stuff I've read that the FBI still has under lock and key. Ken said, I'm not casting doubt on whether Tyler Robinson is innocent or guilty. I'm saying we were not allowed to examine any foreign links to the assassination of Charlie Kirk.
Done. There you go. He's not saying the guy's innocent. He's saying, why can't we be privy to this information as people who work in the administration? Like, what's going on here? Why is there such a hush, lock and key, don't talk about it kind of attitude when it comes to this specific investigation? Do y'all remember when Luigi Mangione shot that CEO in New York? Y'all remember that? Remember how open they were about it? Oh, he shot the guy. Oh, it's... But when it comes to Charlie Kirk getting assassinated, oh, well, we got to be quiet about this one. We can't talk about this. It's pretty weird, isn't it?
This is bat bleep lunacy, of course. In fact, it's actually quite evil, because if you are providing evidence to try to get the alleged murder of Charlie Kirk off the hook, in a case where he clearly killed Charlie Kirk, in my opinion, well, that's terrible and evil. There is zero evidence to support Ken's contentions. He has not provided any. He's just asking questions. Or, according to the queen of the asylum, Candace Owens, there's always the possibility that Kent thinks he's preventing the, quote, hostile takeover of Charlie's legacy or some such nonsense. It's so stupid, it's kind of hard to follow. But here was Candace Owens, Joe Kent's friend, earlier this week.
I told you the truth based off of my discussions with Charlie about where his headspace was at when it came to Israel. I didn't need Joe Kent for that. I didn't even know Joe Kent at all. Had never had a single communication with Joe Kent until after Charlie Kirk was assassinated. That is the honest to God truth. I didn't know this man at all. And so this whole idea that everyone's colluding to tell the truth. Megyn Kelly told the truth. Tucker Carlson told the truth. And you guys hate us for that.
They told the truth about what? About what? Actually, I'm pretty sure that Megyn Kelly will not tell the truth about Candace Owens. That's been my major problem throughout. And Tucker Carlson, man, the ALP just got to his brain. And here's the thing. It's not just Joe Kent who is the problem here.
All right, guys, I'm going to stop the video here. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Do you guys agree with Ben's bad takes? You know, he's attacking Joe Kent, attacking Candace Owens. You know, he's Israel first, America last. Apparently, everybody that's against the war is against the Jews. All this other BS that Ben likes to spew. But, yeah, thanks for watching, man. I hope you guys stuck around to the end. If you did, please consider dropping a like and subscribing. I'm really trying to grow this community and grow this channel. And until next time, I'll see you guys. Be good. Peace.